We'll now call to order the Madison County Board of Education meeting. First, we'll have Mr. Rutherford is going to read our vision.
Madison County Schools, in partnership with the community, strives to equip educators and students with the skills to lead by example, develop and speak with a unique voice, and explore their academic curiosity to make a positive impact on our community and world.
Thank you. Number 3 on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the June 13th regular meeting and the June 20th special meeting. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, seconded by Ms. Burford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 4 is audience comments regarding agenda items. I don't see anything. Next on our action agenda is to approve the USDA Child Nutritional Program procurement certification as presented. Is any questions? And I entertain the motion.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms.
Brock?
Brock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approve intent to participate in the Community Eligibility Provisions CEP program. That's our free meal program. Does anybody have any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Brock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. We're flying. 5C is to approve the final reading of the 2019-2020 Madison County School Policy Updates. That's something that we got at the last meeting, and this is a second reading, correct? Is there anything you need to add to it? Anybody have questions?
And
We can
these-
vote on them together, right?
Together as one. And these were basically the changes from the state.
Yeah, well, most of them are. Yeah, there are a couple that are just some little cleanup things, we're wording this piece that we've done locally, but by and large, it's to align everything with state regulations. Every time the legislature meets, comes up with new laws or changes to the laws, we have to update all our policies to be consistent with that. And we have our Kentucky School Boards Association, their legal team pulls that together, sends that to us, makes those recommendations. And then once those come to us, just so you'll know the process, once those come to us, we pull our directors together, we send all those policies out, we have them review them to make sure that they're consistent with the way we're doing things and the way that we make sure we're aware of policy and see if there's any concerns. And this year, we actually pulled our team together and went through all of our policies, not just the ones that were updated, but we reviewed all policies and spread those out. So it was a pretty comprehensive review.
It was. Who changed the district planning committee, the requirements on who's on it? Did they do that or we do that?
The district planning committee, Ms. Hunter and Ms. Lakes worked on that one quite a bit. The planning piece, a lot of that is spelled out in regulation already. It's specific. So particularly that we pull our instructional team at the district level to pull that together. And then one of the things with that, each of our schools put together a school improvement plan
Right.
from their council, and all of that comes together to integrate together. So that's, and some of the things that were changed on that is alignment with some of the regulations regarding, in the policy previously, we had some things about the committee itself would be brought before the board, and
Yes,
that
voted
the
on it.
timeline would be, that timeline is, that timeline's already spelled out, and we're contingent upon the state releasing information to us. But the board still has the approval of the plan itself. So we pull all that together and then present it to the board for that piece. Does that answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. It seems like that document had
Yeah.
one of the most changes on all the documents.
That most of the others were just semantics,
Yeah.
like the healthcare examinations. It says
Yeah.
a complete, it took
Oh,
it from
yeah,
a
complete
completed,
certificate.
well, obviously, it's not completed because they're children and they're still getting their immunizations.
Yeah.
Right.
So, anyway, a lot of cleanup.
Should just say up to date.
So can I entertain a motion to approve the final reading of the 2019-20 Madison County School Policy Updates?
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Brock. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 5D is declare tech surplus of technology equipment, and I guess you're going to tell us a little about it.
It's just old equipment that we've stripped all the parts off of it, and what's left is really unusable at this point, so, but we have to declare it surplus before we can really do anything else with it.
Any questions? I looked through, I appreciate you telling us the explanation about Commonwealth computers that was donated, and now they're out of date as well.
Yes, that was helpful. Thank you.
So, can we entertain the motion to declare the surplus of technology equipment as presented?
I will, so move.
Motion by Ms. Burford, do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Brock, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Thank you.
That was short and sweet. 5E is to create and ratify a guidance counselor position at Madison Kindergarten Academy paid for by their Title I funds. Anybody have any questions about that?
So now we're going to pay for this guidance counselor since that money's being used for already other positions?
Yeah, we have our standard allocation formula.
Right.
And the kindergarten academy, because of the nature of it, having only kindergarten students, past few years had used their positions that they're allocated based on enrollment in some unique ways. They had hired a few different types of individuals through that position. Next year, they do want to employ a guidance counselor, but they already have all of their positions assigned for next year. So rather than us picking up the guidance counselor and then paying for a person in a different position, the simplest thing is just we would be creating and ratifying a position. And so,
Right.
since it is not a teaching specific position, it's a guidance counselor. And since, as you know, our guidance counselors, they're approved on the 504 chairperson stuff, so it's a little different piece, so we just listed it as guidance counselor. So that was the simplest way to move that forward.
Any other questions? Then I'll entertain again to create and ratify a guidance counselor position at Madison Kindergarten Academy paid for with their Title I funds.
I'll make that motion.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, second by Mr. Rutherford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 5F is to approve our school fees as presented. We've had those over the weekend and a little bit earlier than that, actually, I think. But anybody have any questions about those? They're pretty cut and dry.
I think they've stayed the same, haven't they?
Yeah,
For the most part.
yeah, there's some difference down there. So I entertain a motion to approve the school fees as presented.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Brock. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. 5G is to approve the changes to the general liability fleet insurance policy. That saved us, what, about $23,000?
Yeah, about 20, I think it's 23,000 was the total. And if you'll recall back at the June meeting, Mr. Livingston presented that to us, and we asked about a few of those changes. And so that's what they are, and they're willing to make those changes, make them retroactive, and save us that money on the premium.
And thank Board Member Lori Cobb
Absolutely.
for sharing her expertise and helping us to save that
Oh,
money.
that's what I was going to say. I don't know where you got that at, but it was good.
I have leaned heavily on Ms. Cobb when it comes to the insurance information. And as with all of you, each of us have unique perspectives and areas of expertise, and we're going to rely on that, so I appreciate that.
I was going to say, now we know what she's good for, but don't quote me.
Many things. Lori, so you think we're good
We're
at,
punching in
you
some
think we're good at
hard
that 90% coverage of the blanket?
Absolutely.
After we vote on this, I'll ask a question about insurance, if you want. Or do you want me to go ahead and ask
Go
it?
ahead, Dan.
Were they going to go ahead and get us a quote
The cyber.
for the cyber thing?
Yes, there's two or three, it's, I guess the process of quoting that seems to be a little more, I don't want to say complicated, but has more steps than just looking it up and saying, you have to look at our procedures and everything else and on how we do things and reach out to some other a variety of companies and get some stuff back. He should have that by middle or end of next week,
Okay.
which I'm going to share out to you, some, whatever information he does, so you'll have plenty of time to take a look at that in preparation for our August board meeting.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
And also I inquired with that, as I understand it, that the cyber piece, the policies that we're looking at would include anything that's happening up to this point if it's something we don't know about.
Oh, okay.
So if we had some kind of, something that created a breach or an attack or whatever at this point, as long as we did not know about it at the time we took on that policy,
Yeah.
it would be covered, so.
That's good. So if there's no other questions, the motion is to approve the changes to the general liability fleet insurance policy as presented.
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Ms. Cobb, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Burford, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
It was Brock, but
Oh, yeah, Brock. And I was thinking to myself, oh, I got that one. Okay, you fixed that, right?
she'd already fixed it.
Just say
Next,
bad.
we
It'll
have
be
Ms.
okay.
Hunter going to give us our instruction report.
My plan tonight was to share with you our ACT data for this year. However, we just don't have those scores yet, so I can't share that with you tonight. I hope to be able to share that with you in the near future, maybe next month or the next. So whenever we have that data, I will share that with you. What I can share with you tonight is that we've been pretty busy around here this summer. We've had teachers in to share. We have some newly revised standards, math, reading and writing, and so we brought our teachers in, and we've been looking at those. We've been making plans to revise our assessments, revise our activities, and so we've been doing an overview of those standards and making plans to work in our PLCs this whole school year to make sure they're comfortable with those and make sure that our students have that right on target instruction and make sure that our teachers aren't overwhelmed and that they have a good plan with those. I've met with every principal, and our principals have fantastic plans for their PLCs. So we have been pretty busy around here this summer. It's pretty exciting work that we're doing.
That's great.
Very good.
Did those changes in standards, did that come from the state?
Absolutely, yes. There is a plan to revise all of our standards on a schedule. Not significant changes to any of those standards, but making it easier to use the documents. So teachers are pretty comfortable with them, so we're working toward that.
That's great.
Someone asked me, said, why do y'all have board meetings in the middle of the summer? There's nothing going on. I was like, there's a lot going on in the middle of the summer. I said, there's more going on then than there is during the year.
That's right.
Well, I was out here a week or so ago.
Yep.
And it was packed down here.
It is, because
was
when we
with-
bring in, like today, we're working on reading and writing standards, and we had, had a central feeder pattern. So we had some representatives from Central, and we had Boonesboro, we had Cottle, had Glen Marshall here, so the room was packed.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next is our construction report, but we will not be having,
Mr. Thomas
wait.
is here.
He
so-
has made it.
Well, there's not much construction to give you update on, but good evening, first of all. But we'll let you know that the two projects that you approved, the kindergarten academy, of course, parking lot, and the roof project, the contracts have been executed. You know, since you approved them last month, we've sent them to the Kentucky Department of Education, sent the revised BG1s. And both those projects are ready to start any day, and it could start, they'll probably start working on the roof next week, and we'll probably meet with Allen Company. We've already met with them once for pre-construction meetings, so they're ready to go. So hopefully next month, we'll have some pictures to show you and some reports on what's going on. But they're both ready to go.
I was there today looking for trucks, like, are they working yet?
Come
No.
next week.
Yeah, next
They-
week.
They should be there on both projects. Well, Allen Company feels like they can really do that parking lot fast, so they may not even get started next week, but they're ready to go, and they may even get done before school starts.
Remind me again, how long are we anticipating on the roof project at Central?
The roof will go until September. They're gonna try to get the areas that are over instructional areas first, and hopefully by the time school starts, they've moved down to the areas like the cafeteria and things like that, where noise doesn't
You're right.
matter so much.
I've had people asking me about when we're gonna get started on that parking lot, and I said, any day, it's all approved.
And it is now,
Katie's.
any day.
Yeah,
Sweet.
okay.
How long will that parking lot take? You said it'll be quick, but.
Well, we gave them 90 days, but we've had a pre-construction meeting with Brandon with Allen Company, and he just acted like this isn't gonna take, they've got heavy equipment, they're gonna come in and move that dirt and put pave, he said he could pave that thing in a couple of days, once he got it prepared. So they could possibly do it in, their conduit and light poles are probably gonna take them longer than cutting out the, I say that the street, they got some work to do at the street with some drainage, and that's probably gonna be their slowest thing, but they'll have somebody out there stopping the traffic according to all state regulations. So 3 weeks, maybe once you see trucks on the ground, 3 weeks, something like that. We hope no longer than that.
Very good.
Yes. And I'll also add there, Ms. Brock just mentioned, the state, I've spoken with the state regarding our frustration on the processing of the whole facilities piece. In fact, I was on the phone with the commissioner just yesterday afternoon, talking with him about that, and this is every district in the state that's doing anything construction-wise is feeling the same frustration, I guess is a good way to put it, that we are.
It's a slower pace.
They are just simply backlogged, and what at one time took just a couple of days to get through the process is now taking weeks or months, so.
And those districts, design teams.
Yes. Yeah.
Maybe they
Can I quickly
need to
ask
make more
another-
allocations for,
A quick other, like behind Madison Central, we've taken that fence out, adding, what are we doing? Adding more parking back there?
Yes, what we've done is we've basically put some overflow parking back there.
Right.
We've done some gravel. We've talked with the staff out there and, or the administration out there. There's not a whole lot of use for that. There's not a whole lot of things that we've been using that grassy area for.
Right.
So we put down some gravel, and we're basically using it for overflow parking right now. We're paving just a little strip there so that we won't have any ruts or any big issues getting in and out of that. But
Okay.
that's what we're doing right now.
For teacher parking or football games or basketball games?
Yes, and we've used that grassy area for overflow parking for
Right.
football games and other things.
But it rained about every Friday, so.
Yeah, so the gravel should help with that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, good. And the fence being gone looked nice.
Well, that fence was necessary before when we had open field and some other things down there, but now that we have a lot of interior fencing, that fence really served no
Did
purpose. So we-
nothing,
Yeah, so we
yeah.
took it down
Okay.
Very good.
opens it up back there. doesn't
It does.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we will have Mr. Woods with our finance report.
Good evening.
Hello.
All right. As of January 30th, we ended with a reconciled balance of $29,745,949.80. Slightly down from this time last year, and we were still spending a little bit of construction money on Boonesboro, so that's where the major difference is. You do see, we've talked about this before, the special revenue does show a negative cash balance. It's covered by general fund. That's just timing of the state. By the time we send them and they approve our reimbursement, and then we get caught up with people being out and not approving them, even though we sent them in a little early. We did hold this one a little bit longer because of all of our summer payrolls. We were trying to get as many of those in on the reimbursement as possible, but the person that approves these was out at the time we sent in our form, so it took a few extra days to process. It's just timing of crossing over. I think we've already received our reimbursement at this point. Of the reconciled balance, we have $9,289,990.65 in investments. Those rates are still 2.25 to 3. They've not changed much. Some of the rates I've seen have dipped a little bit in the last couple of months, but they're still holding 2.2 and above. We're not investing at this time. Right now is our cash flow time. We've spent a lot on summer payrolls. We will not have any tax money come in until the end of October. So we have a lot of CDs that will mature between now and October. to make sure we have plenty of cash flow. And once we get tax money back in, we'll start revamping on our investments. In your packet, you also had your balance sheet, revenue and expense. I will say, while these are June 30th numbers, these are preliminary numbers. We are still making adjustments. Our unaudited report will go into KDE by the 25th. So we're still finalizing everything, reconciling anything that comes in. This time of year is a little bit different than most months. When you have bills that were for June, you have to post them to June. You know, when you're going throughout the regular part of the year, if it comes in the 15th of May, let's say, and it was for April, you just go ahead and pay it and you post it in May. But for accounting purposes, we have to record all those. So as those bills come in, we post them back. So you will see some changes. We will report in August what our unaudited numbers are that go to the state. You still may have some changes from there until we finalize the audit.
Any questions? And we'll make a motion to approve the monthly financial report as presented.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Rutherford. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Cobb. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're into the superintendent's report.
Well, let's see. All right. So July 1st, as Mr. Woods mentioned, that marks the start of our new fiscal year. And obviously, we now start focusing all of our efforts completely on the beginning of next school year. It will not be very long at all. We'll turn around twice and blink once, and we'll be running buses picking up kids. So August 14th, just a few days away. So that's where we are focused right now across the district. But I'm also very excited to say this evening that earlier in the week we did close on our property for the new Richmond Area Tech Center. Property is located there on Merchant Drive, at the corner of Merchant Drive and 4 Mile. And we plan to present the board with a BG1 for the new building for that Area Tech Center, Career Center, at the next, hopefully at the August board meeting. So that is the plan. And then from there, we'll soon design, bid, and build a career center that will ultimately house the Kentucky Tech and ATC courses along with a few other programs. That building, coupled with our building in Berea, should provide, first of all, a very stable workforce for Madison County. It should also be a vital part of our economic development across the county and region, but also, and more importantly, it's going to help prepare students for college and or careers and having a good, productive life. So we're very, very excited about that, and that's my superintendent report.
Very good. We're excited too.
Excited not to keep it a secret anymore.
Absolutely.
Now that goes unsaid what I'm excited about. Okay, next on our agenda is our consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of the claims, the record of the superintendent's July personnel actions, the July leaves of absence, out-of-state field trips for the Fairstown Middle School archery team trip to Nashville, Tennessee, July 24th through the 26th, the Madison Central School chorus trip to Orlando, Florida, December the 4th through the 9th. Also on the consent agenda, a shortened school day application, the 2019-20 ARC, which is Admission and Release Committee Chairperson, and the review of the 2019 Madison County School Procedure Updates. Are there any questions to the agenda? If not, then I need a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Ms. Brock, second by Mr. Rutherford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Public comments. Ms. Kimball, I believe you have asked to speak.
Members of the board, thank you. My name is Kristen Kimball. I currently coach at Camp Dick Robinson. I've been there for 4 years with their archery program. I started it over there. We do have 2 teams, what they call a traditional bullseye team that shoots at the regular block targets. And this year we presented a 3D IBO team, which shoots at the animal targets. Our team placed second in the state this year for their first year, so that was impressive for those little kids. So I'm here today on behalf of Ferristown and Madison Southern. I'm moving to this area. My kids go here now. I'm currently coaching boys soccer at Ferristown. I've spoken to the coaches and the principals at both of those schools. They're very excited about starting this program at their schools. So we just needed the go-ahead from you all. I'm here tonight to ask for a coaching stipend for that to be approved for the programs to get started. I guess it would, I don't know how you all do it down here. I have all the equipment, so there will be no equipment purchased, say, from the board or the schools or however that's done here. I've already purchased that on my own, so I bring that to the schools that I coach at. So the only thing that we would be out would be the tournaments and the kids. You all do it different here, so I need to learn that. They pay for the tournaments that we go to, and they're usually $6 to $10 a tournament. We can fundraise for that, or it's not a board out-of-pocket money if that's. So that's what I'm here today for. I'm also asking for off-site practice. I know that gym time is very strict around here, and there's not a lot of it. So I'd like to secure an off-site spot for this practice so we can free up kind of some of the gym space for that. So I believe once we get that spot, we just notify you all to get coverage for insurance just in case our students are covered. Archery is one of the fastest growing sports in the world right now. There are a lot of students. As you all know, we're going to present at the World Tournament at the end of July. So that's very exciting for our schools. That's all I have. The kids are excited to get this program started in Madison County, and I'm happy to help do that.
Well, thank you, Ms. Kimball. Appreciate you coming tonight and addressing your concerns. The board will take that in consideration, and then we'll let you know, or Mr. Gillum will let you know.
Okay, any questions?
So we don't have archery at those 2 schools right now?
You have traditional bullseye archery, not the 3D.
Not the 3D,
Mhm.
gotcha, thank you.
Yep.
Which is the animal target?
Yes.
Gotcha, thank you.
Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next on our agenda is number 8, comments from the board.
I just want to do a quick shout out to Mr. Anderson and what he has done this summer with the food service and the Streets Eats bus. And I just think it's fabulous how we have helped these kids this summer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's very humbling, and he has done a fantabulous job. And I really appreciate all the work they've done. And just knowing that we have helped these kids, kids that might otherwise not even be able to eat.
Mhm.
So I think
It'd be
it's
interesting to see the
fabulous.
numbers when it's over, how many it is. And it was neat to see where somebody had set up picnics on one of the stops, a picnic area, and people were sitting down. It is really very impressive, and
It really
he is
is.
doing a great job.
Yeah.
Okay, any other comments? Then the meeting, make a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Motion by Ms. Brock,
Second.
second by Ms. Rutherford. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are now adjourned.